How have you been doing for the past couple weeks?
We've been pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
I've been
Holding in.
working from home and staying home constantly, and you just started staying home a few days ago.
And still working on that working from home thing, but I'm home.
You get there.
Are you guys roommates?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Mhm.
So the whole time we've been doing huge stuff, we've also been roommates. So for a while we had a third roommate too, Ethan, and I'm sure he appreciated the all hours welding, grinding robot, everything. But now it's just Peter and I.
Nice. Do you guys actually build at your house?
Yeah.
Some of it, yeah.
There's been a lot of the 2018 robot we built in 2 weeks, and we mostly built it out of the makerspace in Boston that Fred Moore from Valkyrie works out of. So we just kind of shuttled up there, and Peter was cutting wheels in the parking lot. I was upstairs countersinking stuff. He was turning pulleys on a lathe while someone else was welding in a different lab upstairs.
Thanks, Dane.
Yeah, thanks Dane from Road Rash. And just like it was, the whole thing had to happen immediately, so we just used the whole lab. Last year was mostly a garage build from our garage here, and this year was kind of getting up that direction too.
Wow. So before BattleBots got postponed, how were you guys looking at time-wise?
We were gonna make it. I totally promised we were absolutely gonna make it.
2 weeks. If we can do it in 2, and we had 3, we were fine. Yeah, it was tight. I think we would have made it and we would have been fine, but we're not sad to have the extra time. We are doing a brushless swap for drive and weapon, so putting the time into getting all that tuned and everything should be a big help. We actually built a spin-up tester, so we have what basically looks like a middleweight sized bite force that sits on the floor with round discs to put in it, and it takes the whole center assembly out of huge, so all the same pulleys and everything. And so he's had that to play with settings on for the last month and a half, and we had that done before we started robot design, just to get the VESC stuff tuning as soon as possible to try and get it. But now that we have the extra time, it's just we'll finish it when we finish it.
Now you can procrastinate a little more.
Exactly.
Correct.
It's 2 weeks whenever we want it to be. Just pick whatever weeks you don't want to sleep, and you're perfect.
Let's not do it again.
Yeah, let's not do that again. It's not good.
Well, there's no actual deadline, so it's like kind of hard to find
Right.
motivation even to get working, you know?
A little bit, yeah.
Mhm.
We had a nice break because we had a lot of things set up as rush orders, and then once they postponed it, we turned them into regular orders, so the parts have started to trickle in, and as soon as we feel comfortable going to our makerspace again, we'll get some parts out. I think Alex is going to weld some stuff for us pretty soon, and then
Yeah.
we'll have a huge.
Don will
So-
make some pulleys.
Yep.
Mhm.
Wheels are done. The bars are done. It's just the important bits and the rest of it that have to happen still.
Yeah. I mean, you guys can cut wheels at the event even, right? So if you have to.
Yep. That's he's the expert.
Expert jigsaw.
Round is just a theory.
Yeah, the floors abrasive make them self-round over time. But I don't know if you guys saw the 2018 robot right out of the box, but it really was kind of a dun 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 dun. Like they weren't perfect.
There were little zebra stripes of just where it would make contact and pick up arena paint.
Until it kind of finished out. But
Well, last year you guys had a bunch of different wheels. Are you doing that this year? Do you have anything new? Unless it's a secret.
Mild secrets. So we have all the wheels from last year because you got way better at cutting them round. We got them rounder, so that was good. We still have the wheels that we used against Gigabyte, which we have a few ideas for, but they're a little heavier than our normal ones. We have all the wheels that we use against Sonobayashi, besides one that we're probably not going to use anymore. And then we've been testing a new material, so we'll see how that goes. But we got a bunch of those in recently, and so kind of excited to use those and see how it goes.
Nice.
Should solve some problems.
Are you guys using HDPE or UHMW or?
Traditionally, it's been UHMW, so we'll just buy giant sheets of it and cut out the wheels and try and sell as much of the offcuts to as many people as we can at filming usually.
Yeah, it must be an expensive sheet.
I think it's what, $400 a wheel.
Yeah,
as
that
of
was-
last year.
That was the cheaper. So last year was 400 because we were buying like sheets cut to like 41 by 41 inches to get the
Mhm.
40-inch wheels, and we bought them in bulk. 2018 was McMaster.
Ooh.
So it's just
So 5x normal price.
But next
Yup.
day delivery.
They did do it next day.
They brought an entire 80-pound. I shudder to call it a sheet. It was more of a plate, about
Yeah.
80 pounds, and they just wrapped it in cardboard and threw it against our garage. And I show up from work that day, and it's just the sheet with a kind of open taco of cardboard
Yeah,
leaned
ripped.
up against the garage.
Oh wow.
You just drive up the driveway and just, hey, the plastic is here.
Yeah.
And
Well,
no
at least
one's
nothing
gonna
happens
steal
to
it because nobody wants it.
And nobody can hold it.
Yeah, no one can lift it, bring it anywhere. The wheels don't travel very far because they're just so heavy until we make them. We've got one sheet still that we never cut. We saved them. Like they didn't ever say it on the show at all, but when we were fighting Whiplash last year, one of the wheels had blue trace outlines on it because we put the wheels back on from the Hypershock fight, got ready for the Whiplash fight, and then decided, okay, we have an hour, let's cut a new wheel. And we traced it and cut it all out in an hour and just kind of played NASCAR to take off the broken wheel that was on but like still would have worked. And then just chuck that one off to the side, put the new wheel on, and then, 15 minutes later we were in the box. So we keep the sheets around just to be able to make whatever idea we want or cut a wheel out quickly if we need it.
Mhm.
No, that's pretty awesome.
So you guys said
It's
you were
fun.
working-
It's a mess.
I
What was
was like,
that?
you guys said you were working from home. What do you guys do when you're not building huge?
So I work as a technical writer for Scient, which is a company that contracts for Pratt & Whitney. So I'll just update engine manuals for the V2500. So it's a commercial jet engine.
Oh wow.
And I work for an insurance company actually. So what they have is they have internet connected sensors that you can put on stuff in refrigerators, on equipment, and then the company insures industrial equipment. So they figure if they can put a, however many $50, $70 sensor on a piece of equipment and save $100,000 insurance incident when it leaks water everywhere or something like that, they'd rather do the sensor. So my job is, we have the sensors and finding new ways to use them and that sort of thing. So it's pretty interesting.
That is
And they think the robots is cool, and they were going to let me take the time off for it. So that was the big part.
nice. So how do you do that job remotely?
Lately, it's been a lot more on, like, we'll get the floor plans of a building and kind of spec out where all the sensors are supposed to go. Or otherwise, we've just been writing some test plans for tests we're going to do once we can get back into our warehouse to test stuff. It's kept me busy, but it's definitely like finding things to do. Hopefully they can keep that going for however many weeks or months that they're going to have the shutdown, but they've kept me busy for the last 2.5 weeks, so I'm happy to be able to work from home and stuff. They'll figure it out.
I'm just struggling with VPN access, and some guy's not happy giving people access, so just waiting on it.
It's an adjustment.
Yeah.
For a lot of companies, I think. We have like special hours that you're allowed to access the network on, and my hours are like 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. So I kind of have to make do outside of those hours, or sometimes sneak on when no one's watching.
Well, so like totally shift your daily routine.
Not as far as you'd think. There have been times where I think I'm up really late, like I'm just going to bed at like 2, and I see his lights still on. And
Robots got to get done. Yeah, no, it's having the extra time is going to be nice just for our own sanity, because we are definitely, everyone talks about how they can build robots in a couple of weeks, but then no one talks about that it takes like 18 hours a day to build robots in a couple of weeks. So yeah, we're gonna make good use of that.
Yeah. Well, we just talked to Ribot the other day, the Ribot team, and they said they built the whole thing in like 9 days. They said or something crazy.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
spring break. It's just nonstop machining.
Yeah.
And that's insane.
They're
I know
insane. They helped us a lot last year with some machining because they have, they're as far away from me as our makerspace is. So if I can go to their shop and use a CNC machine, or I can go to my makerspace and use a Bridgeport that like almost lines up to the DRO, I'm gonna go to their shop and get some help. But yeah, there was times I would show up at 9 p.m. and we would work through the night, and then I leave the Ribot shop at like 9 a.m. with two beautiful pulleys that they made perfectly to tolerance and everything, and then go home and just pass out. And yeah, it was odd trying to live nocturnal for a couple days and then come back to normal life.
Yeah, that's what they said. They flip their sleeping schedule, so they are basically machining all night and sleeping all day, which is crazy.
The crazy people.
Nice,
But-
must be nice to be young
I mean-
again.
I'm gonna use it while I got it, but I'm not gonna have it for much longer if I keep using it.
Yeah, right.
They-
You-
yeah.
Limited use for sure.
Non-renewable.
So you guys are in the Boston area, you said?
Hartford, Connecticut.
Oh, Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's close enough to Boston that we are up a lot to see, there's events up there and maker fairs and watch parties and Ribot's up near there. So we'll go up for some machining help and just to hang out because they're all our friends. And then otherwise, yeah, we're kind of the Connecticut group. Half the team is Connecticut and half the team is Pennsylvania based for Team Huge. So the robot gets built here, but we have a few team members in Pittsburgh and Philadelphia and one now who moved to Atlanta, but they'll machine parts and mail them up and we do the build here and stuff. So
Awesome.
kind of on our own out here. We need some more Connecticut teams.
How's Connecticut doing through all this coronavirus?
Not close enough to New York City to be really not happy about it.
Less than ideal. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Hartford area is kind of lighter, but I grew up in the Fairfield County, so there's a lot of people commuting to and from New York City in there, and I think they're pretty locked down. But you can still get around here pretty easy, but
Yeah, stores are open. Amazon still ships. Like it's still here's functioning. I wouldn't want to be down there.
no.
And I grew up in New Hampshire originally, and my parents still live up there. So they're kind of a couple weeks behind everything that's going on in Connecticut. So I've been kind of giving them the updates of like, hey, you should really start working from home, guys. And they've moved to staying home as well, just because they don't want to mess with this either.
Yeah, it's getting pretty bad out there.
It's not the time to be going to coronavirus parties and
Licking
spring
toes
break
and-
and stuff, is it?
Yeah, it's interesting how each state, like you said, is kind of like on its own timeline. So we're in
Mhm.
Florida. We're in South Florida. So I'm sure you've heard of all the spring breakers down here and everything. So we're not a hot spot, I guess, yet, but I feel like we're just, maybe a week behind New York possibly. So it's interesting to see, kind of, you can see what's coming, Hopefully it doesn't get that bad.
I hope not, yeah. Problem with all the spring breakers is, they're not all going to stay, so you're not going to get anything in Miami. It's just, they're just going to take it everywhere else instead.
Right.
But
Well, they
hopefully it
were
stays.
shutting down the beaches, and everybody was pissed off. Obviously, the economy was like a big
Mm.
excuse. Like, oh well, the economy, this and that. But I think everything shutting down all over the country made people realize, like, yeah, this is way more important than the economy right now.
Yeah. It did. There was one single upside to the economy tanking, which was we had our order set in for steel for the frames. And it was going to be like $1,100. And then we pulled it back because we didn't put in on-off switch holes. We had some alignment stuff to fix. It was rushed. And so I go get another quote after a lot of the country had started to shut down, and it was $500.
Oh wow.
Wow.
So, whoops. But it's been rough. There's a lot of, I know people who've lost their job already because of it, and I figure it's, that's the immediate. So as things keep going, it's just going to get more serious. But what are you going to do? You don't want to get a virus, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Stay home as long as you can. Hey, you guys are lucky that you can work at home. So, and get a paycheck. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. No, very lucky compared to a lot of people that have to go in. So we just hope it works. We can just stay home and that's all it takes. But who knows?
You know, we hope BattleBots, you know, this thing starts on the downtrend and BattleBots can, hopefully we can do this later this year, but fingers
That's
crossed.
the hope. We're kind of
Yeah.
aiming for late summer, but we were both gonna move within a couple months, and so now we don't know if that's gonna happen. But that was gonna complicate if BattleBots happens late summer. So we're just trying to finish the robot and
Take one thing
and
at a
then
time.
worry about everything else later.
Burn that bridge when we get to it.
Yep.
Yeah, well, today is the day we were supposed to fly out to BattleBots. It was probably the same for you guys. So it was
think
really
we
weird to
were-
wake up and not go to BattleBots.
We did schedule it. We
Oh, great.
we all knew as a team that we wanted to take like a little extra time as a vacation because we kind of need it. But we knew if we took it after BattleBots, then we'd just be tired and want to go back to our lives. So we were gonna fly out on Friday night or Saturday mornings, like 2 or 3
Friday
days
night.
ago, and we were gonna take our vacation before BattleBots, and it'd be
Oh.
nice and relaxed, unjet lagged and ready for when BattleBots started. So for us, it was like, you know, it was weird watching that day come and go. We got lucky that we could get some refunds on stuff, but still, like, you know, it's summer camp. They canceled summer camp. They want to go see everybody.
So what were you guys
We've
gonna
only
do?
got-
Hang out in the LA area?
We didn't really have a plan. Like, yeah, would just go relax.
I think we were gonna try like some drive somewhere, Pacific
Oh,
Coast
yeah.
Highway.
Maddie drove up the highway, the Pacific Coast Highway, like an hour or two last year and said it was beautiful. So just take a drive. Yeah, just do vacation things. So sad a little bit about that too. But like, again, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Well, hopefully we get a chance later this year.
I hope so. Yeah,
Mhm.
it'll be good to see everybody again, and you know you don't want anyone to risk it. So, plus, I think that if we still have the same number of robots that were signed up already, but everyone's done,
It's just gonna be a better show.
it's gonna be crazy.
The competition will be a lot better for sure.
Yeah. Like last year, the first 2 or 3 sessions were little rough around the edges,
Yeah,
let's say. But
Yeah.
if everybody's like dialed in,
that's
it's gonna get nuts from the get go.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say it was.
There
the
goes
same
half
for the first couple.
The strategies.
We were relying on nobody else being finished. That's the secret weapon.
Well, yeah.
And then our robot is so simple.
That's the advantage of having seniority, right? You're like, oh yeah, we kind of dialed the robot in last year. We don't really need to we're not changing too much. So like fingers crossed, like you said, your opponent, you hope your opponent putting new brushless motors in and stuff right before the fight and they don't have it
You
dialed
know,
in. You're going to get a easier win, but that's not going to happen this year.
I mean, that was our fear. Like,
Yeah.
we got tired of, you know, we had brush motors forever, but they weren't super thrilled with how we treated them, I guess. So we figured trying to move to a little bit cheaper, maybe more reliable, could pan out, or it could have just been a big risk. But hopefully we get it.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you drive the robot around outside, it scares the neighbor's dog. So she's come out a few times, but dog's gonna have to be scared a little bit while we get the brushless dial.
That's good. Well, really good to see that you guys are doing well and that you're able to stay home. I think that's definitely the most that we could feel like a lot, but I think.
Yeah.
And I hope we see you guys
How
at
about you
BattleBots
all?
really soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
All right, thanks guys. Thanks for chatting.
Thank
Good
you.
talk.